Dear students, I again welcome you all in this power quality lecture series. And today we are going to discuss about this unit number 2, that is power quality characteristics. Now, before starting this unit number 2, let me summarize what we covered in the earlier lectures. So, in earlier lecture, we mainly discussed about the introduction to power quality, and in that we mainly discussed why this power quality is very important issues considering the variation in the load conditions or what are the trends in the industry, how they are using the non-linear loads, okay, how they are using these adjustable speed drives, and that further causing the power quality issues. In that, we also discuss about the various roles and responsibilities of several organizations in dealing with these power quality issues, like standard organizations we have, then those who are setting the standards for the power qualities, then equipment manufacturers' responsibility is there, then power conditioning manufacturers, their role is also play a very important role while dealing with these power quality issues. Apart from that, there are also several other roles that played, like the deregulated environment we have. We detailedly discuss about the power system deregulations, and in that deregulations we require to have some kind of power contract with several entities. Okay, so that also play a very important role while dealing these power quality issues. Along with that, the lawyers also, they are playing very important role nowadays in order to settle the power quality issues. Okay, so this all we mainly discuss in unit number 1, that is introduction to power quality. So today we are going to start this another unit, that is power quality characteristics, and in that we will going to first discuss about several power quality issues that affecting on at the consumer end or at the consumer load side as well as at the utility sides, and also you will see its characteristics which will help you to monitor the power quality events and to have a effective decision making in order to provide a solution to the several power quality issues. So in this syllabus, as far as the syllabus in unit number 2 is concerned, we will mainly deal mainly with the power quality theories. Then, what are the various types of power quality problems we have? Mainly, which includes like voltage swells, long duration over voltages, under voltages, voltage sags also. Then, transient voltages, voltage imbalances, voltage fluctuations, harmonics, electrical noise, etc. These are all the uh, issues related with the power quality. Then we will also see the sources of poor quality problems, from where these poor quality events are get originated. Mainly that is at the utility side of the meter or at the end user side of the meter. You will observe the several sources of these power quality issues. Then we will see the effect of power quality problems, and also we will discuss about the power quality problem solving procedures, how we can solve this power quality solving, how we can solve these power quality issues. So we have to adopt certain procedure to solve these particular issues, and finally we will see some kind of solutions to the power quality issues. Now, as far as the theory part is concerned, power quality theory is concerned, so we mainly characterize this power in terms of the clean power and dirty power. Okay, so clean power means, in technological words, it has some sinusoidal voltage and current without any kind of distortion, and it will going to operate at a designated or designed magnitude and frequency. It means that the current, voltage, and frequency, these are remain standards, that power we call as the clean power. Vice versa situation in case of defining the dirty power is that, or polluted power is that it has certain distorted sinusoidal voltage and current waveforms, and these electrical quantities, they are being operates outside the design limits. What are the design limits for the voltages and currents are there? They are not following those design limits. and they will operate above or outside that particular design limits as well as to the frequencies. So always you will observe that there is always a deviation in the voltages. That means voltage always get fluctuated. Okay. Of course, the standard value of the voltage in terms of per unit system is 1.0, but you never get the voltage 1.0 per unit when we connected a different kinds of loads. So it means that that power is not a clean power, or we call this power as a dirty power. So there are several events that makes this power quality power as a clean power or dirty power. That means there are some natural events and man-made events. Natural events like, for example, like lightning strokes. So if anything natural lightning stroke occurs, then always there is a fluctuation in the power, or some kind of transients are you will observe when there is a lightning stroke. So that due to the natural conditions, or earthquake, flood, etc. That also creating several power quality issues. And some other sources mainly like that is been man-made events. Okay, and these are all responsible to spoiling this clean power which required for the consumer ends. So here the categories of dirty power quality sources mainly like we have power system events. Power system events in the sense several faults which are occurred on the power systems. Okay, so there are several faults mainly been occurred like the line to line fault or line to ground faults and double line to ground fault, etc. So that further deteriorating the power quality. Similarly, use of the non-linear loads at the consumer ends. Many consumers nowadays they are using a non-linear loads, and these non-linear linear loads always act as a source to pollute a clean power. And another source is your poor wiring and groundings. So we'll definitely going to discuss this part in unit number 5, that is wiring and grounding problems. Okay, if you have a poor wiring and grounding problem, there is always the power you obtain at the consumer end will not be a clean power. Now there are several examples of these power quality sources. I already mentioned like lightning strokes are there, or use of adjustable speed drives in terms of the non-linear load is concerned, and some type of loose connections in terms of poor wiring and grounding sources. So these are few examples that makes your power more dirtier one. Now these sources of power quality problem often causes a disturbance. uh, these sources power quality problems often they cause a disturbance, or there is certain kind of power quality variations, and these disturbances can further affect the operation of the end user equipment. Since many end user our equipment, domestic appliances, they have been connected to the source of that particular power. So if there is any kind of disturbances occur, definitely your equipment is also showing some kind of maloperations. So here the power quality engineer break down a power quality problem in three parts. If suppose you are a power quality engineer and you have been assigned the job to resolve the power quality issues, then how I can deal with this problem? I will deal with in a very systematic way. So first thing that I will going to do is that I will further uh, break down the problem into several areas. Now first one is that sources. That means what are the sources where there is a power quality issues, or initiating events, what we call that, which we have just discussed in the earlier slide. Then what are the causes of these power problems, and what is the effect of these power quality problems on the consumer appliances or end user appliances. So this way we can divide into three categories, and further we can take several steps or several decisions to deal with these particular issues. So we are showing this say practices in the next slide in the flow chart. So in solving the power quality problem, power quality engineer use mainly some classical problem solving techniques. Okay, what are the set techniques we have to resolve the power quality issues that generally been selected by this power quality engineer. So he can also do some on-site survey, which includes the visual inspection and electrical measurement of the affected areas. Okay, so first we will see that what is the situation or which are those equipment which are say like affected with the poor power quality. So for that purpose you require some kind of visual inspection, or you require to do some kind of measurement exactly what happened with the equipment, or what is the source, what is the quality of the power. So this we have depicted in a flow chart. So first step in this case is that you require to determine power quality symptoms. That is the effect. Okay, just like when we approach to doctor, or if suppose you are suffering with some kind of diseases, then you definitely going to approach to doctor. And in that case, doctor first determine the symptoms. What are the symptoms you have that further cause some kind of diseases with you. Okay, likewise, when we deal with these power quality issues, we have to first determine the symptoms. That means the effect, which parts are been say like affected. So that is basically the first step while in case of problem solving approach. Then next step is that you have to identify the disturbances. That means the sources of those disturbances, where this problem get originated. Okay. Third step is that determine cause of the power quality problems. What are the cause of this problem? Okay, what are the major reason why this problem arises? Okay, because due to the fault or due to the some kind of natural conditions, etc., or some by using some non-linear loads. So these are several causes that you require to determine first. Once you determine these cause, then you have to further take the two decisions. First one is that determine the cost of alternative power quality solutions. So once you determine the cost, definitely you want to solve that problem. So by giving some kind of solution to that power quality issue. So in that case, what we will generally do, or what power quality will do, he will search down several alternative solutions for a particular power quality problems. In also, he will going to check it whether what is the cost of these power quality solutions for power quality problems. What are the solutions you are offering to that problem? What is the cost of that particular power quality problems? Based on that, you require to determine most cost-effective power quality solutions. So, with the several alternative solutions in your hand as a power quality engineer, and you are also going to evaluate with the cost. What is the cost in order to implement a particular solutions? Based on that, you can select the most cost-effective power quality solutions. And once you decide that okay, this solution is a most cost effective solution, then you implement that solution on that particular power quality issues. So this is the simpler traditional flow chart that how power quality engineer will going to deal with this power quality issues. Now let's see this flow diagram for evaluation of the power quality problem. Solution of a problem come through the several processes which we earlier also discussed. Started with the identification of the problem category. So here the first step is that power quality problem evaluation. Okay. So how what steps we are mainly been discussed, that how we can evaluate these power quality problems. So in that case, the first step is that identify a problem category. So if there is any kind of flicker is there, or is there kind of, if there is some kind of harmonic distortion is there, or voltage regulation problem is there, voltage sag problem is there, or transient problems are there. These are all the inputs that to the identification of problem category. Next step is that problem characterization. That means you have to characterize these problems in terms of what is its impact on the end user equipments, or equipment impact, what you call as. What are its causes, from where this problem originated, and what are its characteristics. Okay, because once you come to know the characteristics of a particular power quality events, then you can able to provide a good solutions. Now next step is that identify the range of solutions. So what are those range of solutions? Like equipment design. Okay, you can design a separate equipment so that you can able to solve this problem, or it may be the solutions in terms of utility transmission systems, those who are transmitting the power. There also you can suggest that can we improve that particular power quality, or you can have suggestion to the end user customer interfacing, okay, who are using the appliances, at the end at the customer side. So how you can use that appliances, or what is the quality of that appliances, okay. So there also you can provide look after the solutions for it. Then you can also look up the solution from distribution systems, those who are distributing the power to the end users. And finally, the end user customer systems, how end user customers they are using these particular powers, or what kind of equipments they have connected at their end. So solutions that you can obtain from different sources, and you get alternative solutions for a particular power quality problems. Okay. Then once you obtain the solutions from all these domains, then you require to evaluate these solutions. So there you can apply some procedural analysis. That means how we can evaluate these solutions based on technical feasibility, based on economic considerations also. Okay, or any kind of technical alternatives, or what kind of say what technological solutions available in the market, so that I can able to solve it. Based on that you can evaluate these solutions, and based on that you can suggest the optimal solution to solve these problems. And what are those optimal solutions? Maybe use of some power quality conditioning equipments like UPS, uninterrupted power supplies, or you can ask the generators to keep some reserves, so that you can able to uh, address the problem of power quality. Or you can suggest some solution in terms of surge protection. Okay, those who are the end user, they can use this surge protection device. Or at the transmission side you can ask transmission utility to adopt the statcoms or fact devices in order to improve the power quality, or dynamic voltage restorers, or or STC. All these are the solutions or optimal solutions that you can able to provide to the end users. Now, as far as these engineers are concerned, they basically set up some instrumentation in order to measure the disturbances which cause the equipment to malfunction, and collect and record data of the for the later analysis. Now, there are several instrumentations are available in order to measure the power quality events. Okay, like for example, like ammeter, voltmeter, multimeters are there, or watt meters are there, or you can use some kind of your three phase meters also. Okay, so and also some kind of power quality equipments like dynamic voltage restorers are there, or you can use the power quality meters. So these are several instrumentations are being developed in order to measure the disturbances in the systems, and based on the data collection from this instrumentation you can use for the lateral analysis. You can analyze the data, and that will helpful to provide the good solutions. After that, the engineer often categorizes these disturbances by the certain kind of signature it leaves on the power quality measuring instruments, or we call it as the signature analysis. That means if any kind of power quality events occurs, say like harmonic events or occurs on the machine, then it leaves some kind of signatures in the characterization of a particular power quality events, and that generally been captured by your measuring instruments. So these signature help you to identify the power quality issue, and appropriately you can able to provide the solutions. So those signature that is in the form in the waveform in the form of waveform of the power quality disturbances. So from the power signature, the engineer can determine the type of power quality problem. That means whether it is voltage sag is there, voltage swells are there, interruptions are there, harmonics distortions are there, transients are there, or over voltages are there. All these things you can able to determine once you obtain the signature of the system by the use of the instrumentation. So after diagnosing this type of power quality problem, the engineer can determine several possible sources and isolate the sources of it and identify several alternative solution of that particular problem. After that, engineer do the economic evaluation of several alternative solutions, what we earlier mentioned in the slide, in order to determine the most cost-effective solutions. And that most cost-effective solution will further be recommended to the customers to use this particular solution and resolve the power quality issue. Now, these are several sources of power quality issues, mainly in the three categories you can observe here. Like the utility sources are there, then internal sources are there, and power electronic sources are there. So, at the utility side, what are those power quality issues? Like lightning is there, power correction equipments like we are using the capacitors that also act as a source of power quality issues, or some kind of faults which have been occurred on the transmission systems, or switching surges are there. These are all the power quality issues that you can observe at the utility side, that means at the transmission and distribution side. Internal sources mainly which includes the individual loads we have. Then we have lightning ballast at the industries, arc welders, okay, where there is some kind of welding going on. Then also it will say while welding, huge amount of current is being used, and that way also it will causing a power quality issues. And we have some kind of medical equipments which are very sensitive to the power quality events. Whereas from power electronic source also, we will find the several power quality issues, like we have the VFDs are there in the industry. Many industries they are using the variable frequency drives that also pose a power quality issues. Or we have some better chargers or smart grid systems also, because in smart grid system there is a majorly the use of these power electronic devices or electronic dimming systems. Okay, when we control the lux of a light by electronic control, or even you have a microgrid systems also. Nowadays there is a growth of microgrid systems. There also you will observe these particular problems. Or during or use of the large motor in an industry where that is well controlled with the power electronic devices. So these are several sources of power quality issues. Then what are the facilities which are affected by this power quality? So if you can categorize this facility into several cost, like high cost facility, medium cost facility, and low cost facility. Then as far as the high cost is concerned, pharmaceutical industries. Okay, pharmaceutical industry, they are producing the say like drugs, okay, syrups and tablets in a batch wise production. If anything happen with the power quality, then there is a huge loss of the production. So that's why that is been treated as a high cost affected industry. Similarly, the semiconductor plants, those who are manufacturing the microchips, which are further used for the computers. Okay, these are also affected with the highly. They have been highly affected due to the power quality issues. Then data centers, those who are storing the data, or there is some kind of data warehousing systems are there. Those are the servers are there, where there are the big servers are there which store huge amount of data of customers or processes. They are also been affected, and there might cause a high cost. Also the chemical industries also they have been well affected with this power quality issues, and the cost of power quality is somewhat very high in such kind of industry. Medium cost industries like automotive manufacturing industries, they have been affected, but in a very medium cost, glass plants, plastic industries, textile industries, they are all been affected. But the cost of this poor power quality is somewhat medium. Whereas the low cost is there. There is an office and home lighting, there's smart grid, microgrid, and consumer end devices. So these are the facilities which have been affected by the power quality from economic point of view. Then how we can classify these power quality disturbances? So as far as the power quality problems are concerned, we mainly been divided into several categories. Like we have the transient, which you observe at the transmission side. Then we have the long duration voltage variations, then short duration voltage variations, then voltage imbalances or waveform distortions, flickers and convergent devices. These are all the problems of the power quality. Under this transient, we can further divide it into two categories like impulsive transient and oscillatory transients. Impulsive transient that you can observe when there is some kind of lightning stroke occurs. Okay, that is mainly the impulsive transients. Oscillated transients, because of the switching surges or variation in the load conditions, we will observe the oscillatory transients. So these oscillatory transients based on further three categories like high frequency transient, low and high frequency transients. Similarly, the long duration voltage variation mainly includes over voltages, under voltages, and sustained interruptions. Okay, and short duration voltage variation mainly includes like interruptions, then voltage sag and voltage swells. Similarly, you observe the voltage imbalances in three-phase conditions. Then there are certain waveform distortion, further been categorized into DC offset, presence of DC offset, harmonics present in the systems, notching is there or noise is there, or sometimes there may be the interharmonics also. And likewise, the problems like flickers and consumer in devices, these are all been this way we are going to classify this power quality disturbances. Now, as far as the types of power quality problem is concerned, in that respect, it is the ability to define and understand various types of power quality problems, which provides necessary background needed to prevent the to solve these particular problems. So power quality signature or characteristics of the disturbances identifies the various types of power quality problems. So the nature of variation in the basic component, that is the sine waveform we have, that is voltage, current and frequency, which further identifies the types of power quality problems. If there is any kind of voltage variation, current variation and frequency variation, we can able to see that which kind of power quality problem is there, and that only you can do it when you are going to observe their waveforms. So here in this case, out of all these power quality issues, voltage sag is one of the most common type of power quality problems. Now let's see the summary of power quality problems we have. These are some few signature voltage waveform signatures we have. Okay, that particular representing a particular kind of power quality problems. For example, like this is voltage waveform, basically the root mean square value of that particular waveform or RMS variations. So major causes mainly you will observe this kind of signature because due to the impulsive transients. And what are the various sources that further cause these kinds of signature, that is lightning strokes or electrostatic discharges, load switchings or capacitor switchings. So because of all these are all the sources that will produce this kind of waveform signatures, and this particular further what are its effect. When this kind of signature is there, then it will able to destroy the computers, chips and TV regulators. So that is the major effect of this, such kind of power quality problems. And some of the solutions are also been there, that how what solution you are going to use to deal with such kind of issue. Like you can use the surge arresters are there, or you can use the filters, or you can use the isolation transformers. Likewise, this is another signature like oscillator transients, and these are all the sources, effect and examples of it. This is the voltage sag or swell. Okay, this is the signature of voltage sag or swell, and in that case, mainly the source are the remote system faults, mainly the faults which occur on the transmission sides. Okay, or there is a variation in the loading conditions. So affect mainly the your motors which are stalling, and sometimes they will also get overheated. Your computers will get failed, or your adjustable speed drives shutting down. So these are the major effects because of this voltage sag or swell. So the solution in that case is the ferroresonant use of ferroresonant transformers, some kind of energy storage technologies like flywheels, or you can use the UPS also. Some other signatures are interruptions. This is the interruptions, RMS variation in the voltages, and these are also these are been causes due to the system protection. Okay, if you have a system protection systems, then if there is any kind of delay of protection system, then you will observe some kind of interruption. Like the circuit breaker, if it takes a long time to clear the fault, then you will observe some kind of interruption, or your fuses get blown out, or if you carry some kind of maintenance on the systems, then for that portion you have to switch off your supply. So that is comes under the category of interruptions. So the effects are there. We have the loss of production, and some of the equipments will get shut down. And these are the several solutions for it in order to deal with such kind of interruption. Like with under voltages or over voltages is concerned, major cause are the motor starting. When the motor started, initial starting torque of a motor is very high. So at that time you will observe this particular phenomena, that is under voltage, or and some kind of load variations are there. You are switching off and on and off a heavy load on the system. You will observe this kind of phenomena. Then major problems are shortened lives of motors. Your motor's durability further reduces, as well as some other elements. And solutions are, these are the solutions. You can use the voltage regulators there, which will be able to regulate these over voltages or under voltages. Harmonic distortions again is concerned, that generally been produced because of this non-linear loads and system resonance condition. And because of this harmonics, your equipment sometimes showing the overheating of transformers and motors, or sometimes fuses blown up, or your relays also, protective relays also get tripped down, or sometimes your meter will also misoperate. So solution here is you can use the filter systems, active or passive filters, or you can use the transformers with cancellation of zero sequence components. These are the voltage flickers, and due to this intermittent load we have, or motor starting, or our furnaces where you are melting down the aluminum in the furnaces. And major cause effects are your lights get flicker up, and it will create an irritation to the human eyes. So you can use like static wire systems here to deal with this power quality issue. So these are all this signature characteristic signature of several power quality events we have. Like this is the transients we have. Okay, this waveform you can, RMS waveform you can observe here, and that we call this as transient. Voltage sag is there. There is a sag is up, sag is appeared here. Okay, and that is a signature of sag. Swell is there, voltage get increased to a particular percentage for a certain duration time, that is called voltage swell. Under voltage also similar signatures you can observe here. Then momentary interruption, for a certain moment power will get zero. Okay, so that is called momentary interruption. Later on it will get restored. Then long interruption, in the sense that for a certain period of time there is your power will get zero or off. Okay, then steady state voltage distortions are there. Then flickers, this kind of waveform we can observe. And when there is any kind of noise is there, then this is some kind of signature, waveform signature, RMS voltage signature you can observe it, which will further create some kind of which will affecting on your equipments. Now let's see the one by one we will discuss all these power quality events. Voltage sags are concerned. As far as the description of this voltage sag is concerned, there is a decrease of the nominal voltage, normal voltage level between 10% to 90% of the nominal RMS voltage at the frequency, and that is for a duration of 0.5 cycle to 1 minute. Okay, so that is the standard way through which how we can define this voltage sag. So there is a decrease of the voltage, okay, and that in the range of 10% to 90% of the nominal RMS voltage at the frequency, and duration of this sag is for 0.5 cycle to 1 minute. So that we define as the voltage sag. So major cause of this, that fault on the transmission and distribution network, or fault on the customer's installations, or connection of heavy loads and startup of your large motors. These are the several causes that creates a voltage sag problems. And consequences of this voltage sags are some of your equipment, IT equipment is showing the maloperation, namely like microprocessors which based control systems you have. Like we will observe this microprocessor based control system in PCs or PLCs or adjustable speed drives, which may lead to a process stoppage. Okay, or tripping of contractors and electromechanical relays also. Okay, so that is also a consequences of this voltage sags, or disconnection and loss of efficiency in electric rotating machines because of the heating. Okay, so these are all these problems or consequences of this voltage sag. Now let's see the standard definition of this voltage sag we have. IEEE defines the voltage sag as a reduction in voltage for a short time. Okay. So the duration of voltage sag is less than 1 minute but more than 8 milliseconds, that is 0.5 cycle. And the magnitude of reduction, that is in between 10% to 90% of the normal RMS voltage at 50 Hz. So this is the standard definition given by the IEEE for the voltage sags. So here the RMS or effective value of the sine wave is the square root value of the square root of the average of the squares of all the instantaneous values of a cycle, and which is equal to 0.707 or 1 by root 2 times the peak value of the sine wave. Okay, so that we are showing in the graph also. So this way we are calculating this voltage. This is the sinusoidal wave of. So this is your peak value and this is your RMS value. So RMS value is equal to 0.707 into peak value. Okay, or you can also calculate RMS value equal to 1.1 times into average value. 1.1 term 1 is nothing the form factor of it. Okay, into average value. So this is your average value. This way we can showing this average value here. From this you can also get this Christ factor, that is the ratio between the peak and RMS, and that gives you 1.414. Okay, so this way we can define this voltage sag is one of the major event, a major power quality event that mainly affecting on all types of customers. So this is just we will continue our discussion in the next lecture with this voltage sags also. But in today's lecture, we mainly discuss about this the problem solving force. What is the power quality theory? Then what are the flowcharts we are how we can deal with this power quality issue systematically. Okay, and we also characterize we also drawn the attention about each step, how we can deal with these particular issues with the several events. Then we also discuss about these facilities, which are the facilities affected by this power quality, how we can classify these power quality disturbances, what are the types of power quality problems, okay, and what are the most common types of power quality problems. And in that case, we are discussed about this definition of the voltage sags. Okay, so this is all about this power quality characteristics. One of the issue voltage sags. So we will continue our discussion with the other with the other power quality issues in the coming lectures, including this voltage sags. So with this, thank you so much.